What's up guys, between the Thailand showcase and a recent interview done by RPGFan, there's a lot of new info to cover, so let's dive right in and take a look at some of the new features to look forward to in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And guys, for all future Final Fantasy content, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out. The Gold Saucer is one thing I'm looking forward to the most. In a recent interview with the director, Hamaguchi stated that pretty much all the minigames from the original Final Fantasy VII will be included in Rebirth. So we can expect a revamp of Super Dunk, the arm wrestling minigame, and all the other classics in addition to the minigames that have already been revealed. A couple exceptions I can think of are the snowboarding minigame and the submarine minigame, which will most likely be available in Part 3 due to story reasons. My concern for these two minigames is whether or not we'll still have access to the Gold Saucer in Part 3. Based on what's happening in the story, by the end of Rebirth and during Part 3, I fear that the Gold Saucer won't be available simply due to the dire situation the world finds itself in. Spending hours at the Gold Saucer might diminish the feeling of urgency to save the world. This was pretty much the reason for the lack of minigames in Final Fantasy XVI. Spending hours fishing or doing other minigames potentially took away from the dark nature of Final Fantasy XVI. We could still access the Gold Saucer throughout the original game, but it's possible Part 3 will be extremely story focused, similar to Remake. I hope I'm wrong of course, but we'll see how they handle it. The Gold Saucer used to be a hub for all minigames in the original game, but now we can look forward to minigames outside of the Gold Saucer as well. Moghouse, for example, has been moved outside the Gold Saucer. I'm excited to play the revamped Moghouse minigame. I remember when I first played Final Fantasy VII, I couldn't comprehend what the hell I was supposed to do during that game. We also have the new edition of a card game called Queen's Blood. I'm a sucker for card games and I'm pumped to try this one out. There might be a couple more minigames outside the Gold Saucer that haven't been revealed yet, so it's looking like there will be plenty of minigames for us to enjoy throughout all of Rebirth. Some new gameplay has been revealed during the showcase in Thailand. One clip is a closer look at chocobo racing. I spent hours chocobo racing in the original Final Fantasy VII when I was younger, and based off this gameplay, it looks like I'm going to be spending so much time racing all over again. They've enhanced chocobo racing in ways I've always dreamed of. We can literally drift now. This game is going to be so sick, and I'm so pumped to experience it. And I'm sure we can all expect Joe to kick our ass just like he did in the original until we get the hang of things. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed chocobo breeding has been removed for Rebirth. Although it was tedious at times, I personally loved breeding chocobos and creating faster chocobos to participate in the races. It makes me wonder how we will register different chocobos. Will it be based off an experience system where the more you race, the more experience you gain? Maybe your chocobo will gain ability points and you can level your chocobo's stamina and speed. It could also be based on luck when you catch chocobos, similar to the range of chocobos you could catch in the original. But when you take a closer look at the UI, it's very possible chocobo racing is based entirely on skill. It looks like you can pick up different buffs throughout the race, one to affect your overall speed and two others for a dash and a speed burst. I'm sure however they end up handling chocobo racing, it will still be a blast. It's looking like we're going to get some expanded lore for the summons. This will be a great addition to Final Fantasy VII. During the interview, Hamaguchi stated that there will be areas that will be tied into the summons, like an area where a specific summon was once revered or once existed. I'm a sucker for lore, so this has me extremely excited. I'm hoping it will tie into some optional dungeons where the treasure at the end is a brand new summon. Further in the interview, he discusses how in Rebirth summons will have a brand new growth element we didn't see in Remake. He states, by playing minigames and progressing through certain content in the story, the summon materia's ability will grow. And that way, there is a sort of growth factor tied to the side content of the game. I gotta say, I'm having a hard time imagining how minigames will contribute to a summon's growth, but it's possible the minigames involved have yet to be revealed. One thing that concerns me from the interview was this statement in particular. With Chadley, the player will be exploring those aspects and will be shedding a bit more light on that. This statement can be interpreted in a couple of ways. My hope is that Chadley will discover a new dungeon or a new area for us to explore, and give us some background information on the area, such as how the summon came to be, and how it was once revered by the people of the area long ago. But my concern is instead Chadley will simply provide us with a short summary on a summon's background, and we just fight it in the simulator. I don't hate the simulator, but when compared to what they could potentially do with summon background information, the simulator just comes up short in my opinion. We got a brief taste of synergy attacks in Intergrade with Yuffie and Sonon, and I was thrilled to see they kept synergy abilities in Rebirth when they were revealed in one of the trailers. I have to admit I was a little worried synergy would be limited to certain character combinations, but Hamaguchi put all those worries to rest. All characters will have synergy attacks with every character pairing. This is absolutely the best case scenario. This basically means each character will have several additional abilities to choose from, which will in turn influence who you choose to have in your active party. We've seen a handful of synergy abilities so far, but I'm so excited to see what other abilities are available, and it's insane to think that there will be even more abilities in Part 3 once Sid and Vincent are worked into the combat system. This of course is assuming they keep synergy in Part 3, but I don't see any reason why they would remove it. Red 13 and Kate Sith will be brand new combat for us to experience, and Hamaguchi briefly spoke about their combat. I really appreciate how the developers took the time to make sure each character's combat is unique. Red 13 for instance will mainly be close range combat similar to Cloud and Tifa, but to keep it unique, they're making his more of a timing based attack based on his ability to guard. This makes me wonder if it will be somewhat similar to landing critical hits and combos by pressing a button at the exact moment of contact, similar to Final Fantasy XVI and Lightning Returns. He also mentioned that Kaith's dice element will be present in Rebirth as well, which makes me think that his combat will definitely be influenced by luck. While he didn't offer too many details on Kate Sith, we can assume his uniqueness will definitely come from fighting with or without the Moogle. I'm thinking he might have some heavy hitters and take less damage when atop the Moogle, sort of acting like a tank, versus quick hitting abilities and faster movement when he's not on the Moogle. I have to say, each time new information drops, it exceeds my expectations. I think we're all in good hands and Rebirth will truly be something special. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.